So my name is Agarkov, and I'm working in security since about 2003, so like 20 years or so. And I joined Wargaming as a security engineer, then I became a security lead, and now I'm just an infrastructure lead, so no more security in my title. But I'm still doing some stuff like that. And today I will tell you a story. It is literally a story of my employment. How I joined Wargaming, how I created a new, for us, way to teach people security, and what outcomes and lessons learned, and how to get it fun. Let's start, right? So take your seats, please. Okay. So, lovely yellow background. I joined Wargaming in 2015, and literally, the security awareness was quite low, to say at least. And what I was doing, I was shouting at people, trying to convince them to do some things right. Of course, they didn't love me for this, so it was like a bit of a disaster and no real impact as a security from my side. A year later, I found some vulnerabilities and got some kind of reputation, and I started thinking about like teaching security. I was still shouting at people, trying to convince them to do things right, but I was, okay, maybe they do not know how to do security right, okay? So I got this idea in my head. And I created some infrastructure services like monitoring, vulnerability management, CM, automated some controls to check that people doing right, and it still was a bit more a disaster than a real security impact from my side. A year later, I finally got some recognition and reputation as an engineer and as a teacher. So I started teaching like C Linux. Probably you might have seen my C Linux labs somewhere in Cyprus, maybe somewhere in Russia as well, so yeah. And finally, I created the idea of teaching event. It was called not a CTF yet, it was called like System Panic Game, but still I was thinking about let's try this. And I proposed this to management and was awaiting the approval for some time. And yeah, teaching was not so bad, so I understood that most people, they really break security rules because they do not understand how to do it right. So quite smart thought, yeah? And in 2018, we did our first Capture the Flag game. We started small. We targeted just our department. Our department is called maintenance, so it's like DevOps engineers, system administrators, database engineers, production support engineers, etc., etc. So guys who was working with infrastructure and production quite closely. So I had a team of 3 engineers that agreed to help me with creating tasks. And so we created about 15 or 16 tasks, and it took 5 months to run our first CTF. 5 months of like creating tasks, creating infrastructure, thinking about some format, inviting people, and we got about 12 teams registered, so it's probably like 50 people. Because team is usually a team of 4, okay? And we received great feedback, really. So the next year, we decided, let's try something bigger. Let's invite guys from other departments. And for this, we decided to go outside and like outsource task creation to a vendor. And it was a disaster. So never again, really. Because some tasks were like provided twice from other CTFs, and our participants found the answers for these tasks online, just Google's write-ups. And some tasks had poor infrastructure inside, like broken Docker images and so on and so on. So I put thousands hours of myself, not thousands, but hundreds at least, trying to fix it all. with my team, and of course it raised some conflicts, and it was a hard time for all of us. But still, we had 47 teams participated, so we got 400% increase of registrations. It was like more than 100 engineers from our offices. And I started to create my own security team. So before I was just an engineer, so I hired a guy from CTF who scored second place alone. He was playing single with no one, hired as a security engineer in my team as well. So, and it was the first time when we created the big prizes like PlayStation, a console for the first prize, like the first place. And we created CTF branding, so probably you understand how, so that's like make it fun, like let's make it like a bit more public event for everyone. So 2020, no fun, no CTF, just COVID, sitting home, like remote work everywhere. Nothing to comment. 2021. So back again, now we had 6 people to create all the tasks, and it was like the first, I would say, CTF that could be not internal but external, because it was at very decent level with great prizes, with great infrastructure, with like a special topic. So this CTF was about all technologies, like we had internet relay chat, we had Fedor, we had like old games like OGame deployed, etc., and people just were exploring all technologies, how it was created back like in 2000s, 2010, something like that. And the main point, like that the event became a competition, not an educational event. And this was, I will explain you later, this was a bit of my mistake. So I lost the control, and it was more about competition from that point. And so it was company-wide. We had more participants, and our swag, I mean T-shirts, hats, was so popular, so even our chief technical officer was wearing it on his meetings. And it was, I have a proof. Okay? So 2022 was a bit difficult, because the CTF took place 2 weeks before the war. So I had my, it was my last CTF as a head of security team, because I changed my role to infrastructure lead. So it was like CTF, I'm stepping down as a security lead, I'm stepping up as an infrastructure, and bam. So then we had some hard times living Russian and Belarus market and doing this stuff, but still, in 2023, we had CTF, again, without myself. I was participating as a competitor. And despite the fact I solved all these tasks first, they decided not to give me a prize, because like, you have too much experience to compete. I think that was unfair, but it is. Of course, because of these challenges and top priority for our business, we had less participants, but still we have like around 100 people participating in our games with all these challenges, and we managed to create this. And what about this year? CTF will start next week at 29th of February. So wish us good luck. Let me explain how to start if you have a dream of creating your own competition or educational event. So a few easy steps. First, you need a team, because you need someone to argue with you, to validate your ideas, and to solve tasks you create, because we had a lot of problems creating tasks solo and putting them in production without proper validation from other members. Like, I create a task, it's great, let's put it like this, and then this task is just unsolvable, because different environment. And team is really important. Team is the most important part of creating anything, and CTFs especially. You need someone who is really smart and challenge, like to challenge your ideas and test them. You need to think about audience. Because I told you that once the CTF became more a competition than an education, it changed the audience as well. But luckily, we had some warm-up in first CTF, so we got the audience for us. But if you don't have them, you need to think, we'll be able, like your engineers, to solve tasks like that, like to solve SQL injections, to solve remote code execution. If not, think about the complexity of the tasks, hints, etc., etc. Marketing, I think that marketing is the key. I mean, informational service notifications, because most people in my work experience, they do not read emails properly. They do not read social media posts properly. They do not read chats properly. So you need to reach them out somehow. And the best way I found to do it is like do it few more times, like send in emails and write a post, and send something into chat, then I don't know, ping them in Telegram, etc., etc. Because this is, I got a lot of feedback, like I never heard about CTFs, and we had like 5 emails in a row, you know, still. And that's it. Once you have a team, you have understanding about who gonna play your CTF, you have some notification, you can run it. Probably you may think about, what about tasks? Really, tasks is not that important, because for your first CTF, you can just Google it on the internet, create something, or just ask your friends, because the idea is to start inviting people into internal security events. Once they are inside, you can think about how to create more fancy tasks. But now, it's really not that important. And of course, a bit of lessons learned the hard way. So yeah, marketing. Once again, you need to promote your event. Most events will fail not because they are bad, not because they are like uninteresting, but because the marketing was bad, the people not got the right invite, so you just have no attendance, you have no event. And if you think that it is too much, it is not. You need to put a lot of efforts there to invite people. You need a backup plan, because like your vendor may let you down, the task may get wrong, something can change. So always think, what if? What if my core infrastructure provider will not survive under the scanner load? What if like some other provider will ban our IP addresses because they will think that this is a real attack, not a CTF game? What if? Because, for example, we had an issue when our scanners just shut down some routers because of a lot of small packets, and routers just, bam, you have no internet anymore. Easily. Think about this. It's always have a backup plan. For example, if you have an infrastructure on a VPN, think about how to switch it to public internet. Test everything and test it like with all efforts possible. So ask people. For example, in our CTF, we now have a group of people who were playing for a few years, and they helping us design and test tasks and infrastructure, because they like won CTF like 3 times in a row. They are not interested in prizes anymore, but they're interested in making CTF better. So use this, and if you have a way to invite internal or external testers, do it. Think about like choices you can give to your participants. Like, for example, we had a fixed price list for a while. Like, if you win a CTF, you have this price list. And then we understood that some people, they do not want second console. They want a choice, and we created a shop. So now they can spend their points they awarded by solving tasks to buy themselves something they want, like Flipper Zero, for example, I don't know, a new Raspberry Pi board, anything they want. So, And it's important to make this, to give them a choice, because you will have more fun for people. They will set themselves a goal and they will play. For example, I have one guy who is playing only to get a new hat, because every year we have different hats, like a hat, a cap, something like that, and he's playing constantly for all these years just to get a new hat. Why not? Yeah. You need something that people may wear, that people may show, people may show off. Because when others will see them, they will ask, like, how can I get this t-shirt? It's beautiful. And go participate in CTF, and you have your free marketing as well, and you need marketing, as I told you before. And probably once you get bigger, you need a game designer, because a lot of people think that they can just create some tasks and put there some points, but really not. You need a game designer, or at least someone who understands Excel and can calculate how much points you need to spend for this and for that. And competition, I told you again, that was my mistake. So if you have a competitors, if it's a competitive event, competitors will outlive others, because they will start just asking you to create more fancy tasks, more to make it like bigger prizes, more like efforts, and then you will end up with CTF or any event with competition where only competitive people participate and others just too scared to join. And that was my mistake, that I lost this control. But really, if you want to bring up security awareness, you need to calm down a bit of competition there. And the conclusion. So when I was teaching in a classic way, most people, they're just listening, like you now. No questions, and no any bugs were found after this teaching. And of course, it's cheap. I just talking for an hour about some security issues, and they will go and work later. With CTFs, active participation requires some knowledge, and knowledge is obtained during the participation. And now we have a local community of players, and they do think about security a lot, and they are spread among all the teams in our company. So in every team, literally you have someone who was playing CTF maybe a few times, and who will say, hey mate, this is not secure, this is wrong thing to do, do not do this, rethink. And a lot of bugs were found, fixed, and the downcome, yeah, you need to pay a lot, because CTF is quite expensive. For our first CTF, we spent about 12 full-time employees, so it's about 1 human year to create the first CTF. Now it's more than 6-8 months of one human, but still, it's expensive. And for our prizes, like infrastructure, tasks, and all these t-shirts, we pay around $100 per person. So, but we have a lot of bug fixes, we have a lot of flaws fixed, and the interesting part, after the CTF, we have always, so every time after the CTF, we have 3 to 4 months, and people will come to us and say hey, I saw a leaked credential there on a GitHub. I saw an issue there, and it should be fixed. And we had a lot of reports. So after the CTF, we collect all these reports, and we have a plan what to do for the next year until the next CTF. And I never seen any CTF veteran who were trapped into phishing email or something like that. So probably it worth it. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your talk. As you said, the CTF is mostly educational. So do you have a kind of traceability when you need people to learn this, you do this CTF, and you measure this as an outcome? And do you have some success stories you can share?
I have some success stories because some tasks for CTF were created by the bugs we found like a year before, but I couldn't share them as usual. But yes, this works, but you know, we have not so much because usually CTF is around 20, 25 tasks, and maybe 2 or 3 of them is from our past experience inside the company that we found ourselves, or it was reported from some external researcher, and we use them as an example. And what we really do, we publish write-ups, and we explain a lot of stuff after CTF in a stream. It's a global stream, and we explain how to solve these tasks and what was connected to.
How do you track that people really learned the things that you taught them?
So as I told, after like 3 to 4 months after we got a lot of reports, and we can just see it by our eyes that we have these reports and people really understood the idea. And said, like for example, we had a few tasks about GVT tokens, and then we had a few reports like this GVT token, we do not check algorithm inside, we need to fix it.
So every year you have more veterans that are not interested anymore in these CTFs. They are they're involved in the process of making new CTF, but they are not interested anymore. Do you have a plan to make some more like CTF for veterans where you can play or they can play because they will become like more?
Yeah, thank you, great question. I had this plan. But because of, so the plan was to invite all CTF veterans like ex-winners to participate in offline CTF in one location to allow them to come and play offline like classic, 24 hours, doors locked, you go and play. But because, COVID, then the war, then all this stuff, it's still hard to organize. But we still have these plans, but now it's not my job, so probably next security lead will do this for us.
And question, did you prepare your audience and who exactly were your audience for CTF? Because it is some limitation for usage of this type of activity, and we need to identify borders in this case.
So, yes, because starting the second year, we invested a lot into marketing. So we have our own branding style, and we used to put some banners into our offices, and we prepared. So we did some interviews with ex-winners about what is CTF, what is the benefits, how to join, how to get fun, and then our audience is engineers, because we have a lot of engineers. It's software engineers, it's like architects, technical managers like engineering managers, technical leads, sometimes even project managers participate. And of course, all this exploitation like DevOps, sysadmins, I don't know, databases and all this stuff. So because we have a lot of engineers into our company, we create games, so we have a lot of software engineers. It's most of them, they can participate because for some tasks we divide tasks in 5 categories like intro, easy, medium, hard, insane. And for some tasks we have it's like a pre-written write-up. You just need to complete these points to get the flag. So they can start, and then because most tasks are not that hard in terms of real CTF, to be honest, they can get involved and start looking for some bugs. Probably they will not solve the insane task, because insane task is a task from real world, like write an exploit for a kernel. But they can solve up to medium, maybe some hard tasks, and get the points, get the t-shirt, get involved, and come next year with their friends.
Thanks for the talk. What about small companies? It's too overwhelming to organize a CTF for, I don't know, a team of 20 engineers. It's also hard to motivate them to participate as one team in external CTFs. Maybe some formats we could use for internal event.
So if you have like just 20 engineers, I think that you can just ask them, invite them to join some security trainings, because probably it's for really small companies, when you have just 20 engineers, it's hard to create such a challenge, a competition, because you need some amount of people interested in. But you probably, you can create some event, not such a hard event like a CTF, but probably what I would suggest is to create some teaching event when they will be able to participate in some activities, not in a competing way. Just to try something, like give them a flipper zero, buy one, give them a flipper zero, ask them to, I don't know, hack something, to open how it's called, the gate, something. And if they will find it interesting, you can then convince them to join like Hack the Box, for example, or some other learning platform. Because CTF requires you to have at least few hundreds of people who can join you, because otherwise it's going to be too expensive.
Thank you.